Hello, this is Chad Middleton, your vocational expert, and I wanted to do a quick video today on how a vocational expert helps you win your TDIU disability claim or even your Social Security disability claim. First and foremost, vocational expert work is uh, a professional field. Okay. I have a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling. I've worked as a vocational rehabilitation counselor and a vocational expert with the state, with the federal government, and now in private practice. Okay. A vocational expert is a person that understands disabilities, medical terminology, but the vocational part is understanding what is required on jobs as they exist in the national economy. For instance, what is the intellectual ability required on the job? What is the amount of standing and walking needed to perform a job? What is the amount of bending, squatting, stooping, climbing, crouching, um, performed on a specific job? What are the transferable skills that you have from a specific job and how it translates to other jobs? Okay, so a vocational expert is a person that is skilled at understanding what jobs require in the national economy, both their physical limitations as well as any mental limitations. Okay, so now when we revert back to the disability part or the medical terminology part, uh, people with disabilities have impairments. In other words, there are things that they cannot do because of their disabilities. For example, if you have a lumbar strain or a back condition, there are certain jobs that you're not able to do because of that back condition. For instance, heavy jobs, jobs that require lifting of over 50 pounds. If you have to do a job that requires um, getting under houses, like a HVAC person or a person that has to climb ladders and lift up heavy objects, there are jobs that you cannot do that are classified as medium or heavy jobs that you're not able to perform because of the extent and severity of your back condition. All right. When we start talking about mental health, if you have anxiety, if you have depression, um, and your depression is severe or your anxiety is severe, it's not very likely that you could adequately perform work as a ambulance or a medical responder, all right, or a fireman or a police officer. If you have mental health issues, if you have significant or severe mental health limitations, not that you're not able to perform it, but it's not a feasible job. It's not a job that is likely to provide success for you if you have that condition. If you have a shoulder problem, problems with your hands, and you're working on a job that requires constant pushing, pulling, fine finger manipulation, you have a job that requires you to do a lot of overhead reaching, and you have a shoulder condition, that job will be somewhat eliminated if you have limitations in your shoulder. Okay, so as a vocational expert, we determine what jobs are feasible, how likely it is for you to be successful performing a job with certain limitations. Okay, the beauty is the VA gives you a rating for each of your service connected conditions. That rating is based on the level of severity or compensation that they pay you based on the severity of your condition. For instance, a 10%, 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 60, all the way up to 100% disability. What I find is that most veterans are it's very difficult to get a 100% rating the way the VA do their math. So the VA has something called TDIU, total disability due to individual unemployability. And if you're found to not be able to work primarily because of your service connected conditions, you can then get paid at the 100% rate. It's difficult getting this particular rating because the VA has a generic denial letter that says Although your disabilities are severe, you don't have any evidence to support you not being able to work primarily because of your service connected condition. Yes, you're unemployed. Yes, you do have a 70, 80, 90% rating. Yes, but you don't have any evidence to support you not being able to work. All right. So, where can you get this information? Can your doctor say it? Sure, they can. They can say that it's likely that you're unable to perform any work. They can say that, but it's very difficult for you to have medical doctors to chime in on whether or not they feel that you're capable of working. Doctors specialize in treating conditions, not being vocational experts. So, as a vocational expert, we look at medical documentation and we determine how this medical documentation provides limitations. And these limitations reduces certain jobs in the national economy. But if we determine based on all of these conditions, there are no jobs that we feel that are feasible for you, we do a vocational or comprehensive vocational evaluation report where we show the VA how we've made the determination that there are no jobs that are feasible for you because of the impact of your service connected disabilities. Okay? This information is very helpful in you getting your TDIU claim approved. Is it required? No, it's not required. A lot of veterans don't know about utilizing a vocational evaluation report. Many people are trying to get 100% ratings from the VA and finding it very difficult. You may not be working, all right, and you don't know that this particular benefit exists. Well, if this applies to you, you contact us and go through our process where we do a consultation, we do an assessment, and we can possibly do a vocational evaluation report so that you can have the evidence that you need to qualify for TDIU. Also, with Social Security, Social Security employs a vocational expert to comment on how certain disabilities affect a person's ability to work. Okay. And if there are no jobs that can be performed because of the impact of the disabling conditions, then of course Social Security will grant Social Security disability benefits. Okay, so whether or not you're applying for TDIU or Social Security disability, it's very important for you to have relevant vocational evidence from a credible vocational expert. All right, I ain't tooting my own horn, but I'm licensed as a professional counselor in the state of South Carolina, and I have worked over 20 years as a vocational expert, working with the state as a rehabilitation counselor, working for Social Security also as a disability examiner, and federally contracted with Social Security as a vocational expert. And my expertise and my experience can help you by providing these vocational services to help you get your claim. All right. If you got questions you want to ask me, go ahead and set up an individual consultation, whether it be for Social Security or for TDIU. And let me share with you how I've been able to help a lot of veterans get approved for disability through the vocational evaluation services. Okay, call us up. Our number is 803-563-5087, or you can email us at admin@vcandvc.com. That's VCANDVC.com. Again, admin, ADMIN, at VCandVC.com. You can check us out on the web at www.vcandvc.com. Set up your initial consultation. Okay. Um, and for a lot of people that are considering cost and things like that, um, an initial consultation is an hour consultation where you talk to me almost like counseling session where you're sharing with me information about your work history, as well as your disability and your claim and your conditions. Our vocational consultation services is $150. Okay. In that in that meeting, we will communicate about our process and communicate about your evidence. And most importantly, without relevant vocational or medical evidence, it's going to be very difficult for us to do a vocational evaluation report. We don't base a report on what you say, solely on what you say about your disabilities. We need to see medical documentation to support your disability. Medical documentation can include your award letters from the VA, your your VA blue button report that you can access virtually, any private records, any vocational records, anything from your employer that suggests that you've been on a performance improvement plan due to your mental health, or you've been terminated because of some problem that you've had on the job. These are vocationally relevant documents that could help us make a very good claim for your TDIU. All right. A vocational evaluation report is unbiased, it's objective, and it's information that you're providing me. But this information is going to be used to get a favorable determination by the Department of Veterans Affairs. Okay. So call us up, set up a initial consultation. We still have some availability for this year, but we're going to be starting into 2026 ready to help you get your claims underway. All right. This year has zoomed by, and we're excited about what next year holds for those of you that are going to be applying for this benefit. But just get it started by calling and setting up your initial consultation. All right. You go through our channel, you'll see there are many veterans that are agreeing to do a interview about how these services have helped them. A lot of veterans don't want no parts in an interview, and I understand it. But a statement or comment about how these services has helped you is very much appreciated, because it shows how we're making an impact on many veterans all over the United States and even the world. All right, I'm Chad Middleton, your vocational expert. I look forward to talking with you, working with you, helping you, assisting you in getting your TDIU claim approved, as well as your Social Security disability. If you have any questions, give us a call. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or even drop your questions in the comments. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.